Hey everybody, and welcome to another entry in the Hyrule Compendium. So last week we talked about all the little changes that we liked about the new Link's Awakening remake for Switch, and so this week we're going to talk about all the bosses in this game and how they're different, what we like or dislike about the changes.
Generally speaking, most of them have retained their original feel.
Yeah, it's much like the changes we talked about last week, where the tweaks are more minor than anything. So starting with Muldaur,
I think they made him easier.
Yeah,
specifically because the outer perimeter, there's still the holes in the corner, but the outer perimeter are now cracked blocks instead of holes.
Yeah,
so it's a lot harder to fall down. When I think back to the original Link's Awakening, I think Muldaur as one of the more difficult bosses because you have so little amount of health. They did make it a little easier. I'm okay with it. I feel because it's the first boss, that's fine.
I gotta say, I've never seen that room below him in the remake yet.
Oh, you haven't?
I've never fallen.
Oh.
In the original, I'm just jumping over, I'm taking swipes. This one, I'm being a bit more strategic with it. And I think that's a good first challenge for someone coming to the game.
So whenever I'm creating a chamber dungeon, I always put Muldaur as the final boss because he's so fast to defeat.
It's pretty easy.
You want to get through it. So now I've
good
fought
sign
him.
Of the chamber dungeons.
I fought him 15 times now,
great.
It's he's a joke now. But I like the changes to make him easier as a intro boss for the first dungeon.
Yeah, I think it works a lot better than the original for sure. Okay, so Genie.
One of the changes made was I like how the bottle starts to crack.
Yes.
So you can sort of tell
you're doing something.
Your progression a little bit.
The obvious thing is for me was the text not being as bad. You get it the first time. It's it's good text, but it's repeated over and over. And you can't get me in my phone. It's okay, that's very obnoxious. I think they changed up the second phase a little bit.
It's similar. He still spins. It looks like there's two of them, and then he appears and throws a ball at you.
He appears, but he's got the ball charged up and it throws, and you gotta run away, and it chases you a bit. I always find it annoying in the older one because it's almost designed to just kill you the first time.
Yeah,
because he appears and
you have to be moving, otherwise you're gonna be hit.
You don't know he's gonna throw the fireball right away. You don't know which way you need to go. I like in this that I don't think I've died to him either.
Yeah,
but if for a first time player, I bet you would probably still die. So yeah, I don't know, good balance.
Yeah, they did better with Genie as well.
Yeah,
so they're 2 for 2. I think
2 for 2. Oh, we'll keep score. All right, we're 2 for 2. Okay, so what, slime eyes? Definitely a change. For starters, the splitting thing you got to do where you split it into the two eyes. It still it has that tactile element I was talking about before. Where in the previous game it was just kind of you hit them and they split. For this, it's you gotta hit it, and then you see Link kind of pushing through the slime and actually physically separating the two.
And you have to hit the eyes too. It's when you start splitting it, it has it has the eyes that it separates the eyes.
A specific weak point. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the only way to get it to really stretch.
After you separated them, now the front of the eyes is the only place you can do damage to it. Before, you could just hit it wherever. You could sort of cheese your way through it. At that point, you have enough hearts. This time, you gotta make sure you're getting making sure they fall on you from the top of the screen while you go to jump to the bottom and avoid them.
I'm gonna go another thumbs up on this change.
Okay, yeah, I like this.
I think we're 3 for 3.
3 for 3. I agree.
Now the fourth boss is ambiguous because you could go to the color dungeon at this point.
Let's just do that then. We'll do color dungeon next.
Is it called the Hit Beetle? Now it's called, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. They made him considerably easier. He was a tough boss before. You had to figure out you had to hit him rapidly.
You had to figure out how to keep the hits up.
I was rushing to kill him as fast as I could because I knew my previous encounters.
Yes.
And then after I beat him, I started questioning whether he actually recovers his color if you don't hit him, because he never did it a single time to me. I think they morphed him and he's a little too easy.
The text again is way better.
He talks to you a lot in the battle.
Yeah, he still has that when you get to a certain point, but it's not making that first hit that you're constantly going back and forth between. So for me, it was like an improvement in that factor, but the boss fight is like trying to keep the hits up and like jumping to avoid his obstacles is more fun in the original, I will say.
I think we're in agreement on this one.
Thumbs down.
Thumbs down.
Despite that improvement in the one aspect, thumbs down.
Now we're at Angler's Tunnel, the Anglerfish.
Just the worst, the stupidest boss in that whole game. In the original, at least.
I'm going to give him a major 2 thumbs up on this one.
Okay, you're just starting with the thumbs up.
I love the cinematic entrance. I love how, like, it's sort of like 3D a little bit, how it comes in from the back of the pond. It's like he's got an entrance, like you know, if he's like a wrestler. He comes through the curtain.
I like that.
To battle. Every time you hit him, I believe you ricochet away now, so you can't just sit there and go forever against him. You get to see all of his attacks now.
Yeah, you see the stuff falling down. I did take some damage. I still think it's, like, silly easy. Like, this feels like second dungeon material.
Yeah, maybe even first, because he's still, I would say, the easiest. Even with making Muldaur easier, I still think Anglerfish is the easiest boss. I just like his design and the cinematics around the battle.
It's a thumbs up boss for me too, but it's like for a boss that was like already kind of thumbs down, you know?
Okay.
But yeah, I'll give it to him.
All right. We're on to Catfish's Maw. We've got Slime Eel, I believe his name is.
Yes. I was saying in our last video where you have to go actually like pull him out and then go around to the side and hit him. The physics are a little bit more there. It's a bit more, you have to do a bit more, you know, not just pull him out and then like swing as hard as you can. You actually have to go for the weak point.
I like how when he occasionally sends his like dummy eel or whatever out, because you could tell his eyes are all...
That would happen to me sometimes playing the original, and I could never figure out like what I did wrong.
Okay, I don't know if there's a visual cue in Link's Awakening.
Well, I definitely like that change a lot though, because it didn't feel random to me. And this, it's still pretty subtle. It's like the eyeballs of the guy. Like I didn't notice it until like my third time accidentally pulling one out, you know.
This one, it really retains most of the original battle though.
It's not a big change.
I think the visual improvements with the eyes and that other phase, it's like a slightly improved version. I like it.
It was already a good boss fight, I think.
Face Shrine.
Facade. Oh, I really liked him. He was another one of the ridiculously easy bosses. He's still super easy, but I think the little bits of changes, like the physics of the tiles knocking your bomb away, like that got me a few times and actually blew myself up a few times.
Yeah.
The way the tiles open up and drop, the holes open up, and like can also grab your bomb.
I really think that little tweak of allowing the bombs to be knocked away is the big gameplay difference. In the previous Game Boy Color version, you just dropped a bomb and waited. You dropped another bomb,
and his face moves, right? Like,
yeah, he goes to different areas.
Yeah.
But now you have to be a little more strategic where you put your bombs and where you move Link so the tiles come after you and not the bomb.
Just all these little changes, I think, add up to a big improvement, I think.
Yeah, definitely, I think, an improvement on this one, too.
So where are we at now?
We're at Evil Eagle from Eagle's Tower. There's a few changes on this one. His one attack where he, like, swarms down at you. You can hold your shield and actually hit him with your sword this time. There were only certain moments in the battle before that you can hit him, and now there's more opportunities that you can hit him. In the Game Boy Color, if you got blown off, you fell to the bottom screen, and then when you came back up, the battle restarted. Even if you only had one hit left. I never fell off. Did you fall off at all?
I don't think so.
But I know it's only one screen, so I imagine the battle doesn't restart, and there's spikes on the side. So I think you just take damage and you climb back up and fight again.
I was having a little bit of a harder time compared to the original, hitting him when he's flying by with whatever weapon you're supposed to use.
You could still hit him with the bow or the boomerang, but I believe the hook shot is no longer... it's no longer applicable. It doesn't. It no longer hurts him. But you could actually jump with Rock's Feather and just swing your sword at him. You were able to do that before, but...
Right.
I feel like you have a longer range now.
Oh, really?
Unless he's all the way up there, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
If you have the Koholin sword at this point. As long as the boss doesn't restart when you fall over, that's an immediate improvement.
So we'll say thumbs up.
Pending with an asterisk.
Yeah, leave a comment if we're wrong, and we'll alter it to thumbs down. What's Hothead?
Hothead, the boss of Turtle Rock.
I don't know what's different because I fought him the same way.
The big thing I noticed is he doesn't take nearly as much damage.
Okay.
He was very strong before, where his fire attack did 4 hearts of damage.
I see.
I have the blue mail, and I want to say it only did half a heart of damage. Maybe it did 1. But either way, that means base is either 1 or 2. Plus, you have more hearts in this game compared to the Game Boy Color version.
I literally fought him the same way I always do, which is just stand in one spot and just spam or try to hit him, you know.
They did make it where you can't repeatedly throw.
Yes, I noticed that, but that took a second to, like...
Yeah, so you have to adapt a little bit. Because they made him easier, I'm going to say, this was like a meh.
At first I was thinking thumb sideways, because, like, the fight was, in my mind, like, the same. Now thinking, like, you know, he does less damage... Like, they could have done something with him. It's not like a boss fight that people would have been, like, upset if they tweaked a little bit.
It's kind of underwhelming for being the final boss of the last major dungeon. You know, when you think of some of the other final bosses from other, like, you know, the game before this was A Link to the Past, and you got Trinix at the end.
Yeah.
It's like one of the most, you know, beloved
Twin
bosses.
Rova, I think of.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of epic... Or sometimes... people even remember these final dungeons and bosses like just as fondly as the actual final ones, you know?
Right.
It could have been just like the Angler or Facade, where it's like not significantly different but done something, you know?
And the arena, I mean, you got the lava, but like
maybe that's what they could have just done, is like change how maybe the lava moves, you know, where you can actually stand changes or something.
Right, yeah.
You know? That's the big thing about that fight that makes it kind of a bummer, is you just sort of stand in one spot. You can dodge his fire, but like now in this, it doesn't even hurt you that much. Thumbs down.
Yep, he joins.
He joins the hard hit beetle.
Hard hit beetle, I believe.
Hard hit beetle. So what about the final boss, I guess?
Yeah, the final nightmare, Death Eye. I don't know if that's just his last form or all of his forms, but...
Oh, well, yeah, all of them, I guess. I like the fight, but there wasn't anything that, like, stuck out to me, like, oh, they did this now, you know?
I was a little confused on how to hit Ganon. I know you had to use the Pegasus boots before, but you couldn't hit him while he was spinning his trident. And then I waited until after his fire bats attacked you, and then I dashed him, but I was taking damage every time I did it, but
it was doing damage?
Yeah. And then the final Death Eye, the first thing I tried was the boomerang. Doesn't instant kill him.
Nerf the boomerang.
Yeah, the boomerang overall is not nearly as...
R.I.P.
It's just as powerful, I believe, against most common enemies, but against all the mini bosses and bosses, it's been downgraded a bit.
Okay.
I guess that's for the better. I think
it's for the better, yeah.
Yeah. Overall, I would say a very sideways thumb on this one.
Yeah, it's like they didn't improve it. I don't really know if it really... Like, it's a cool fight, actually, I think, because you kind of cycle through all these different things. It didn't... To me, there's not much about it that I feel like is bad already, you know?
You don't really feel like you get the graphical enhancement, I feel, with these guys, because they're all nightmares. I do like the new Ganon, though. You can tell he looks more like Pig Ganon, but you don't get to see them in all their color glory, I guess. And
I thought it already worked for what it was. So
I was a little underwhelmed by the I was hoping for something new, I guess.
Okay, like a new phase that you didn't expect or something?
Yeah, just, or maybe a little bit of added difficulty towards the end. Like, I've played Link's Awakening so many times that I can't even remember if it was hard the first time I played it, the final boss. But, so I don't know if it's like a difficult boss for other people. Overall, though...
Side thumbs on that?
Yeah.
I'll agree,
And I would say, I'm going to go with actually a thumbs down, because... if you're not improving after all these years in a remake, then you're falling behind.
Well, I can't give it that myself. I just think if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it was already a good fight.
It's the Meatloaf song. If it ain't broke, break it.
Okay, well, with all these changes, that's still a pretty solid indicator of the game overall. Like, most of them they made at least more fun, if not more challenging.
I wouldn't say many of them are more challenging. In fact, I don't know if any of them are more challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah, except Anglerfish. But they were like quality of life improvements, I think. and it was just fun to see them in like a 3D world. It's not really 3D, but it's kind of is.
Yeah, they made what was fun about some of the bosses more, like the novelty factor is there even more.
Yeah,
because it's like even if they're not much harder or not harder at all, it's like they're doing more.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall, thumbs up overall.
Yeah,
we'll give it
overall.
We had what, 3 thumbs down, maybe 2.
Yeah,
depending on how you count it. So that's a pretty solid record.
Let us know how many thumbs up and thumbs downs you give.
Do all the thumbs for every boss. You can't do sideways.
No sideways.
No sideways. You have to commit. Give us all your thumbs. Like and subscribe, all that stuff if you enjoyed the video. If you have any other Link's Awakening topics you think it would be cool for us to discuss, do that. And as always, thanks for watching. You know, Meatloaf, he may know a thing or two about music, but I don't know if he knows a thing or two about Link's Awakening.
Okay.